Hi, today I'm going to give you 3 really easy tips on how to improve your potting down the cushion. Absolutely anyone can do this at all, so stay tuned. I hope you'll find it useful and soon you'll be potting like this. Now, tip number 1 is about adjusting where you aim. If you look at a really simple pot like this, normally you would aim to hit it right in the middle of the pocket. Now, that gives you a little bit of leeway either side, where if you hit it slightly to the left, it can still go in. If you hit it slightly to the right, it'll also still go in. But how does that look when you're playing down the cushion? Let's move the camera around and have a look at that now. So if you look at a shot down the cushion, what you normally do is aim to pot it in the small part of the pocket that you can actually see. So you're aiming to get the ball in there. But there's a little bit of a flaw in that, and I'm just going to show this. So if you do hit that point, it's going to go in. But if you hit very slightly to the right, so if you just catch that knuckle, so very slightly, you miss the ball. But if you hit it very slightly to the left, so if you aim for this knuckle, you still pot it. So your middle point of the pocket isn't really this position here. It's probably more here. You could probably hit between there, and you're going to pot the ball. So instead of aiming for right in the heart of the pocket, aim just for the near knuckle. Now, there's a couple of exceptions to that, and I'll show you that just now for tip number 2. Tip number 2 is about finding the right pace to hit the ball at. If we look head on again, I'll just give you a really quick, easy demonstration. I'm going to pot this ball, well, I'm going to aim to miss this ball. I'm going to hit that knuckle. I'm going to hit it quite hard. So you can see that I missed that. Now if I play in the same position again, but hit it much softer, you can see I've potted it. Now you probably all know that, but how does that translate when you look at a shot down the cushion? Let's have a look at that just now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to aim for this point here rather than there, just like we said in tip number 1. And I'm going to hit it quite hard. Right, you can see that I missed, and that was probably quite obviously going to happen. If I had it softer, it drops in. Now again, that's hardly surprising. Now, aiming for that point only really works if you're going to hit the ball at a kind of decent pace. If you hit it too hard, it's going to jump out. So if you are going to hit it hard, you need to hit it right in that point there. You need to hit it very well. But it's also the same if you hit it quite soft. Because if you hit this ball soft, as in pocket weight, what happens is if you catch this knuckle here, it then hits this knuckle here, it then hits this knuckle, and it'll then drop in. It might hit another couple of knuckles. Now, if you hit it soft and miss it, it's probably going to stay there, which isn't a bad shot. But if you do hit it too soft, you're not going to give it enough pace to drop, because you think it's got a bit of a distance to travel after it hits that knuckle. Hits that knuckle, possibly that knuckle again. You see, that stayed out because I didn't hit it hard enough. So now let's look at tip number 3. Okay, tip number 3 is about putting spin on the object ball after you've hit the cue ball. And this happens every single shot that you play, that you impart some kind of spin on the object ball. And it's normally the opposite spin of what you've put in the cue ball. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit the cue ball, just to demonstrate this. I'm going to hit the cue ball on the top. I'm going to put top spin on it. I'm going to cannon that yellow. Now, because the white's moving forward, and I've put top spin on it, it's actually rotating that way. When it hits that yellow ball, the yellow ball rotates the opposite way. So it'll still move forward, but its rotation will be spinning backwards slightly. So once that yellow gets to the red, it should almost stop because of that little bit of backspin. So let's have a look at that. You see it moved forward ever so slightly there. And that's because of the spin that we managed to get on it. Now if we look at the same shot again, but this time I'll put backspin on the cue ball, what should happen is, although the cue ball's moving forward, it's rotating back the way now. That means it puts topspin on the yellow. So once this yellow hits the red ball, it should follow through ever so slightly, if we hit it right. You see that it moved forward much more there. So that demonstrates that we're always putting some kind of spin on the ball. But how does that help us when we're potting down the cushion? Well, it's like this. If I hit the knuckle again with a plain, hitting this plain ball, should miss. Yep. Now let's try the exact same shot, but this time I'm going to put spin, side spin on the shot. I'm going to hit the knuckle, I'm going to hit it at the same speed, I'm going to put spin on it. You can see I potted it. Now this helps us massively when we're potting down the cushion. So we'll move the camera around again and we'll look at that. So based on what we know about the first two tips about aiming for that knuckle and hitting it at a reasonable pace, now let's add the third tip about putting side spin on it. But it's important to get the right side spin on this. So I'm going to aim for that point and I'm going to put right hand side spin on this ball. I want you to watch what happens. I missed that quite a long way. Now if I aim for the same point and put left hand side spin on it, you can see that once it hit the cushion, it almost kind of swerves back in. And that's because it's rotating that way. It's wanting to go towards that pocket. So that now makes potting down the cushion a lot easier. So now if we introduce a cue ball, what we want to do is, if position allows, we want to aim for here, meaning that if we don't hit there, we could maybe pot it clean, we could maybe pot it off the cushion there slightly. But that's where we're going to aim. We're going to hit it at a medium pace, and we'll now put a little bit of spin on it. And we should pot a lot more of these kind of shots now. Just like that. Now, just a quick bonus tip for you here. If the object ball is touching the cushion like it is here, the pot becomes easier by putting a little bit of running side on it. And that's because you're hitting the object ball and the cushion at roughly the same time. If you think about how that cue ball is rotating, so it's moving forward, but if it's rotating that way, it's imparting that spin onto the object ball, which makes the object ball want to hug the cushion in a little bit of an easier pot. Just like that. Now, I know playing with side can be scary and not many people can do it. So if you do want to learn more about that, I've put a video up here for you just now. It really shows you how to play with side, where to aim. Because I know that's a big question for most people is, where do I aim with side? So check out that video if you haven't already. And thanks for watching.